Hey, welcome to Waking Up to Win.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Chad.
And this is your space for real estate motivation, mindset, and the kind of coaching that pushes you from stuck to a top producer.
We are all about helping agents work on their business, not just run ragged in it.
And we believe there is more than enough room at the top for everyone to win.
Let's dive in.
Welcome back, Chad.
Hello.
Why'd you point to Aaron?
I didn't. I did the swallow the soda sign. It was just a
That's
swoop.
the universal swallow the soda sign.
That's my sign for hold on a minute.
Oh,
I got
got
to
it.
finish something before I can respond.
I feel like it's been a while since we've been in this room.
Yeah. It has. We got a little bit ahead there for a minute, so we took a couple weeks off. You know what happens is people get busy. I hate it when people tell me they're busy. That's the most annoying thing to me in the world, which is why I love this quote.
Okay, give it to us. I knew. What a transition. Wait, ready? That's my universal sign for give it to me.
Okay, here it comes. You ready?
Yes.
It is not enough to be busy. So are the ants. The question is, what are we busy about? Henry David Thoreau.
What's that mean to you?
I think, like I said, it's the ants are the thing. So it comes into mind the ants are constantly running in a straight line. You know, they follow a path, whatever. And I think sometimes as real estate agents, we get into that ant mode and we forget what our purpose is.
We were just talking about the movie A Bug's Life and those little ants. And you're right when you said running in a row. And then when something happens that breaks that, because they have no idea, they're just doing it. That's run. But then they panic. That's my favorite part of the show, when he panics because there's a stick in the road.
Right. Like, oh my goodness.
It's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, so it's that. And my pet peeve, people tell me that, agents tell me that I'm so busy. And my question out of my mouth is always, with what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you busy with? What does that mean to you? Because
that's also that complaining thing. You know what? That's so funny. I just sent this to someone today. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
It was about complaining and like, stop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the being busy, sometimes it's just a habit to tell you, I'm so busy.
I'm so busy. And then it's like, with what? And some of them are. Like, when people say that to me, I watch them. They're busy. Like,
some people are
frantically busy, carrying dirt on the line or whatever. And it's like,
my favorite is the people who are busy worrying about being busy. And you're not going to say a name.
Right.
Do not say a name
I'm not
when
going
I say
to,
it.
but it
but
is,
like,
yes.
we both know somebody that has to take 4 days off before a trip because they got to pack.
Right.
But they don't pack till the day before. No. But they're so worried about thinking about packing that they can't do anything else.
Right. No, and you said
there's a stick in the road.
When we were talking about it, right? You were just saying that. When we were talking about it, the Bug's Life movie came up, which is a great movie from my childhood and your kids' childhood. So we're both familiar with it. But I didn't have to say that. I'm sorry.
Well, I watch it with my grandkids now, so.
Yeah. And I watch it with your grandkids.
Harley Davidson cup that you hate.
I want to know how in the world you can remember every complaint I make about you ever. But you can't remember how to turn your notifications back on your phone. Why is that?
Maybe I should unpack that someday.
Maybe someday you should. In the Bug's Life movie, they have the ants and they go out and they will follow their line and their path, and it's like mindless, what they've been told to do.
They're collecting food for the grasshoppers.
Right? They're collecting food for their queen. And then a stick falls out of a tree and it breaks the line and they all like, wah, panic. And it's like, sometimes I like to be the person to throw that stick in front of a realtor that's just walking down the line without a thought. Does that make me a bad person?
It depends why you're throwing the stick.
Because
if you're trying to help them, then it's a good thing. But if you're trying to just be rude.
Yeah, no, I'm never trying to be rude. It does happen.
He's just really good at it.
Right.
It's natural.
Exactly. I'm never trying to be rude.
Okay.
It's just natural for
I
me.
know.
So that's never why I do it. I do it because I want them to understand. Well, I believe in the independent contractor thing is why I do it. Like at the core of that, it's when you get into a mode where you've forgotten that you're your own boss and you're just following somebody else's direction, like that's never going to work out well for you in this industry. Ever. I mean, I could go through a litany of examples of why that wouldn't work out. So sometimes I like to throw the stick just to point out that, hey, sometimes, don't lose the ability to remember what you're busy about or what the whole goal is for yourself, because it's easy to get lost in the standard operating procedure and forget the overview or over goal, which is, as much as rude is natural to me, keeping an eye on the big picture is also
you're very good
natural
at that.
to me.
It is
it
is true.
So yeah.
All right. Good one. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, keep your eye on the prize. Remember what you're busy about.
Don't worry about the stick.
It's just a stick.
And now you know. So now we're going to talk about something we learned this week, and I got a good one.
What'd you learn this week?
So I did not learn this.
Oh, okay.
But someone else did.
Oh.
And I thought it would be a good one to share. So yesterday I was listening to two agents talking about listing coming up. And so I heard her talking about this client inherited a house from her parents, and the agent's not sure what to do with it because it's very outdated. It's not quite a hoarder's house, but it's full. And then she starts talking about the stain on the hardwood floor. And that's perked me up. And so I'm listening, and she says, oh, yeah, the lady who's selling the house says, oh, yeah, my brother moved in when my mom and dad died, and then he died, and nobody found him for a couple weeks, and he exploded. And so it's just, and we can't get that stain out. And so now I'm in the conversation, and I go, oh, well, what are we doing about that? And we're not doing it. I mean, at this point, it was just a listing appointment. So I said, well, let me tell you what happens. So I learned this, and I know you know this story, when I owned the apartment buildings in South City. I had a tenant who, it was over the July 4th weekend, and I get a phone call from another tenant and says, we haven't seen Mr. Smith, and there's a really bad smell coming from his apartment. So I go down there. And me and Ronell, that was my tenant, we
also the building manager.
So we like shimmy up to look inside the window to see what's going on, and we see Mr. Smith deceased laying in the bed. And this is how I learned this. I did not know this until then. And his stomach is huge. So we call the police because I didn't know any better at the time. The police come. Hazmat people come. I'm talking full on mask, gloves, like like the guys at ET when he comes back, full on everything. They've got the whole place closed down. They take the body, they take the mattress, they take all the clothes, like everything out of that room. And so I'm just asking the guy because I'm curious. I'm like, so tell me about like what does all this mean? And this is what you do. And he said, oh, you're very lucky, ma'am. He said that body was hours from exploding. And if that would have happened, we would have taken out your hardwood floors, your subfloors, your drywall. Like this room would have been gutted. So what I learned in that was that when you die, your body obviously internally starts decomposing, and that gas pressure builds up and your body swells. And at some point, that's all going to start coming out. Maybe your eyes, your ears, your mouth. It's not literal, and it's not a literal like explosion, like the neighbors would hear it.
Yeah, like not.
But it's a pop. I mean, and maybe like you have a scar or somewhere, like, but that's going to pop, and then all of that's coming out. If that happens, it actually like goes down in between the floor, and then if it's in the subfloor, they got to take all that out. And so here, this lady's thinking that she's just scrubbed it and that's all she's going to do. And I'm like, yeah, she got a lot more to do. And it's expensive. It could cost you $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to get that all.
But why didn't they do that when they took the body out, the hazmat team?
Well, we don't, maybe she took the body out herself.
Oh my God. But
maybe Bubba's buried in the backyard. I don't know. I didn't actually ask that. But anyway.
Yeah, because like if that's all required, wouldn't you think that the coroner, when they came to get the body, they would have done all that?
Yeah. That's what happened when we did it. So I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I didn't think that far. All I was thinking was I was having PTSD.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To going back to that. So, yeah.
It's crazy. And then also it brings me to another thought is, so does the seller have to disclose that now?
Yeah, it's a latent defect. It's a material defect. I mean, 100% you have to disclose what happened to that spot. You don't have to. In Missouri, I do not believe you have to disclose that somebody died in the house, but I'm not sure how you disclose that without disclosing the other.
It's true.
Unless you found a dead person on the road and you brought him back into the house. I don't know.
I just can't believe if it was an environmental hazard.
No, that's a good question now.
That the coroner wouldn't have done the remediation. Like, I wouldn't think that.
That's a great question. I didn't consider that. I'll have to follow that up now.
Unless the coroner isn't responsible for that and maybe they just told her that she needed to do it and she never did it because it was an inherited estate house. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Huh. That's so gross.
My understanding when it happened to me was it's kind of like the gas companies coming for a leak, they shut it down. My understanding is instantly they would shut that down. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I'm
because most people aren't going to do that if they can get away with it. They're not going to take out hardwood floors and subfloors and drywall.
I had to do that because of a tenant I had in one of my rental properties. Cracked the bathtub.
When he died?
How? No, he didn't die, but I'm just saying.
Okay. What?
No, I don't think he died.
Was he just chubby?
If he did, I didn't know. I don't have any idea how he cracked the bathtub, but he did. And yes, he was a little larger. I don't know that he was like pointy enough.
Point A, point B. You gotta connect. This happened to you.
So the water was leaking through the bathtub. The tenant lived like that. I mean, waterfall in the basement.
It happened at Melanthi.
Unfinished.
Yep.
But yeah, I had to rip out the entire bathroom, the bathtub, the subfloors, the rafters underneath. Like
that's what people don't realize. Yeah. Well, that was water.
It was water.
That would be a lot.
But it's all
every time
molded, and you can't. I mean, like, oh.
Remember when we owned the Four family?
Ripping out subfloors and stuff is not fun.
Remember that tenant that had the German Shepherds on the first floor? And we went down into the laundry room.
Oh, yeah.
And the German Shepherd was peeing in the kitchen, and it was dripping. And that city occupancy inspector was like, "You're going to have to take these beams down." And I'm like, I'm going to be cleaning that with some Kills. And
yeah. Yuck.
But it was. But I mean, like, you don't realize, like, just even that little bit that will drip through. That's disgusting.
No, it is. If people don't understand, I don't think, and maybe even I don't, I think I maybe do a little bit how a house works. Like, people think that it's a room, so it's a house. It's impervious to outside things getting in and all of that. And if you don't maintain your house, well, that's not true.
Well, and even if you do maintain it, like even like this, it's gravity. I mean, as the liquids are leaving the body, they're gonna keep finding the lowest point down the crack, I mean, they're not just gonna sit nicely in a puddle. Blood.
Blood. That's
blood. Remember when that was? Yes. I know that was before TikTok.
You, Charlie.
Charlie, that really hurt.
That really hurt. Ooh, David. That's what I just did.
Who's
From
David?
Schitt's Creek.
I don't watch that.
You should have. You missed out.
All right, so
is it liquid when it comes out? Because
yes.
I don't like the liquids, the bloods and the
not blood. It's not blood. It's your body. Like,
I'm curious about the biochemistry that happens there. Like Aaron's saying,
no, we're done. We're done. Anyway,
I'm nauseous.
But if it happens, you have to do more than just remove it.
Oh, for sure.
Now you know.
And now you know. And now you have dealt with What is it with you and exploding bodies?
And they don't actually explode, but just want to go on the record that I didn't say that.
think
I did
that's
say
exactly what
I
you
did,
said.
but I said they don't actually boom explode.
Oh, okay.
They kind of like ooze.
What is going on in real estate?
Headlines. Fannie and Freddie to allow credit scores based on rent and utilities payment. A little insight. Prospective home buyers with a history of on-time payments for rent and utilities may soon find it easier to qualify for a mortgage, thanks to changes at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's great for young people and first-time home buyers that maybe don't have credit yet, that's now going to give you like a credit history.
Right.
So that's good because a lot of times we find people that no credit is as bad as bad credit.
I think it goes deeper than that because the whole functional thing that changed is that they're allowing debtors or creditors, whichever one they are, the lenders, to utilize different scoring methods from different companies.
Sorry.
So it's actually introducing competition into credit scoring, which is not something that the federal government has done before.
Oh, so it's
or the
not just
banking
FICA
industry has
and-
done. Everything's been a FICO score before. And I
Right.
can't remember what. Tell me, Erin.
Vantage Score 4.0.
The Vantage score. So the FICO score is a company that takes the 3 credit reports, because that's all TransUnion, Equifax, and whatever the company is. I guess it's
Experian?
Experian.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, those 3, they just report the stuff. Like, they don't do the scoring. FICO is a registered company scoring model that uses the information in those reports to issue a score or a numerized risk assessment of you as a borrower. And so forever, the banking industry, federal government, all of those things only relied on that one score. Well, there's some flaws in that score because it's old now.
Right.
And the economy doesn't work like that anymore. So like it's not the same. You know what I mean? So having the Vantage scoring model available gives the lenders choices as to which scoring model they want to lend on. And that, for me, was the big news in that article. So it will definitely help first-time homebuyers, but I think it's also going to help drastically people like divorcees and like those types of things, because a lot of times when you get divorced, you got to move into a rental because you're paying off debts and you're rearranging all the liabilities and everything and assets within your combined life and separating them again. And so that rental history will then count for somebody that is divorced, and it kind of counterbalances some of the negative things that come
rental
out
history
of,
are counted before. It doesn't change
No.
that, does it?
Yes. No. FICO scores don't include anything to do with rent or utilities.
Okay, I just thought it was utilities.
No. Now, utilities and rent can be reported to the credit reporting agencies, but it's up to the choice of the landlord and the company.
I actually had a landlord when I lived in South City. It was my friend's mother, and I would pay my rent like on the 10th or whatever. And then when I went to buy my first house, she said I was late with my rent, and that was going to deny my loan.
Yeah.
So that was 1992. So that factored in then.
But that was a particular overlay that the lender put on there, right?
But utilities never mattered.
Yeah. So and that overlay does still exist with other lenders now too. Like there are lenders that will qualify you based on rental history and stuff like that. But it's not in the Fannie and Freddie model, which is where the insurance for those loans come from. So lenders, issue the loan and then they sell them to Fannie and Freddie, which act as kind of a clearinghouse to repackage the loans and then sell them off to investors.
So the hope here is that we're going to get more people eligible to buy houses.
It should open up and it's a good move too, because there's a ton of people. I mean, the average first-time home buyer is 40 now, and so there's a lot of people that have been renting for a long time.
Well, then when you look at your utilities as someone starting out
Right. How are they any different?
That's probably
yes.
a bigger portion of your budget than that Kohl's card that you pay $25 a month to. I mean, that's, being able to pay your utilities on time.
I think the argument on the other side of that is did you pay your utilities on time? I think that some of the argument on the other side of that is utilities are looked at by a lot of creditors as not optional things, right? So if you have the choice,
it's going to negatively affect some people too,
right?
We know a couple of people that pay their electric bill when the lights don't
get shut off, right?
Yeah,
that's like, the electric bills do,
right? Yep.
Yeah, so interesting. I'm excited for it. I don't think I can't imagine what bad is going to come.
I don't see a downside either, right?
Yeah.
Headline number 2. RE/MAX set for $880 million takeover by the real brokerage and tech-driven Real RE/MAX Group deal.
Yeah.
And there's been another one since then.
There has been another one since then. EXP just combined with, can't remember. But it does it does bring to the point. It's happening all over the places, and the industry is shifting for sure, and conglomerating and downsizing. Because I have an opinion of why, but go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I just think that you were saying, like, bring that back to ROG. Every time I read one of those, I think they're all trying to do what we're already doing. They're all trying to get more agent focused, and they can't do it. They have to buy another company because they can't shift their culture, and we're already doing it.
Right. Well, and then the other problem comes in with a merger is you're not going to shift that company's culture. And I will say with this one that Real has been from the get-go a technology platform that independent agents take part of. There's no physical locations with them. So it's almost like the company was designed to exist and then grow by acquisition, right? And so it doesn't really surprise me. What does surprise me is that RE/MAX would give them control, because RE/MAX is a longstanding brand. Now, that being said, after much more research on this, I do believe it was part of the agreement that RE/MAX doesn't lose its brand. So RE/MAX is not going anywhere. They are a franchise brand, and they're very similar to Realty One Group. I like to remind people, right? Everybody wants to work for the big guys because they have power, and that makes total sense. Purchasing power, that's a real thing in the economy. But I think it's wise to take a minute and look for the big guys that have built something that's just as big without doing it on the backs of everybody else, and I'm not saying I said that in a negative way, right? So that's my knock against RE/MAX. And what I mean by that is they go public in order to raise money in order to grow. Realty One Group is a franchise model just like RE/MAX. Most of the leadership at Realty One Group has an extensive work history at RE/MAX.
Right, came from.
So one could argue that Realty One Group was born out of RE/MAX and the frustration experienced with RE/MAX's business practices. Namely, the fact that RE/MAX is a publicly owned company, and so they're beholden to their shareholders.
Right.
Because they had to go get that money from investors in an IPA and go on the stock market as a traded public company, they lost control of their culture. They handed that over to a board of directors that's led by whoever invested the most money. And when you're led by investors, it's not going to be touchy-feely. Like, that just is the way it is, right? Keller Williams, for instance, they keep a tight hold because Gary Keller remains the major shareholder of the company. Sure, he's brought on investors and things like that throughout the years, but he's still a creative visionary of the company. And so one of the things that I like about Realty One Group is our founder, Kuba, is still the sole owner of Realty One Group Incorporated. So he has said very clearly in the past that he has absolutely no intention of going public ever.
And his leadership is, everything is about the agent and what we're doing for the agent. It's never about a stockholder. It's never about Wall Street.
Yeah.
How do we make this better for the agent and the brokerage?
And what does the agent and the broker want? And Realty One Group has corporate stores and they have franchise. So it's a mix of both.
Which is great.
Right. And then, it's constantly what does the agent want? And then how do we make money providing that? Right. So, and then if it's not feasible to make money, here's who you can get that from at a discounted rate. And so I think that, I just like that.
It's just interesting to see it all going.
It is interesting, and it's happening on the macro and micro scale too. So on a big scale with the corporate mergers that are happening, EXP with whoever they just merged with, you had Compass going with Realogy, and then now we have Remax and Real merging. In our local market center here for Keller Williams, the 3 or 4, 5, 6 largest teams, that's what Keller Williams is built on, are all combining within Keller Williams right now too. We just had a conversation with an agent not too long ago, and their team got bought by another team, and he's not too happy with the way the new team works. But so that dynamic is also down in that micro scale of a local market center for Keller Williams. And so it's just interesting to me. I think we finally reached the fallout of 2020 and 2021, where every John Doe got a real estate license because you could spit and find a client. And now we've reached the brokerage fallout of that. We've been experiencing the agent fallout of it for the last several years. But if you're at a brokerage whose agent count is going down and whose sales volume is going down, it's probably because they didn't react well to that time frame, right? They let the market control the brokerage rather than the brokerage yielding the market. So just my hot take on it.
Yep.
But I actually think the real estate industry is oversaturated right now. So I'm not worried about all these mergers and stuff. I would like to see us condensed and consolidated a little bit because it's out of control after 2020 and 2021. So go on with your bad selves. Keep buying each other up. We'll be over here. When you get tired of shifting around, let us know.
We'll be over here taking care of our agents and our clients, and you guys go figure that out.
Not worrying about a corporate merger.
Nope.
What the floop?
What the floop?
What the floop?
You got a good one?
What the floop did Annie or Chad do shoot, let's go back.
No, my only what the floop is, you saw it too. I have this really bad tendency, apparently, to think about something, decide that I'm going to do it, and then pretend like everybody else that's involved already knows what I thought about. Have you ever noticed that?
No, I've never noticed that.
Erin, you have a what the floop?
Oh, yes. I found out.
Yeah. Yesterday when we were on a meeting.
Yes, I found out on a meeting with our agents that we're going to be opening up. I don't even know. Founding. Thank you. I was like, opening up's not the right word. Founding our own nonprofit. And I don't even know my title. What's my title?
Executive Director.
Executive Director. So yes, I found that out in the meeting yesterday.
And her face said, "What the floop did he just say?" When I said it.
I just smiled, had a little bit of a giggle.
Yeah.
So and still wasn't talked about it. And then it happened again today. And I'm just like, he'll eventually tell me what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, you do that.
I know it's bad, and I apologize.
And then gets mad if you're not keeping up, or we'll actually say, well, we've talked about it.
Let's not go too far down the rabbit hole here. I just was formally and publicly apologizing to
I'm just saying you get mad because we don't remember, and then you're probably like, maybe I never told you.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I mean, I'm sorry. That's what. Honestly, that's what happens when you have the voices running in your head 1,000 times a day. You forget what you say out loud and don't say out loud. So.
Especially when you're very like excited and passionate about, like you're like,
oh, for sure,
ready to go.
No. Sometimes we're driving in the truck and it's not even anything big, and he says a sentence, and I say, I would like to engage in this conversation, but you had the first half silently, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Because he'll just be like driving along, and he'll be like, "Well, do you think the green one?" And I'm like, "What?"
Yes. So let the record reflect. If I say something to you that you're like, what? I don't understand. You can ask me the question. Did you have the first half of that conversation with yourself?
What I say,
and it doesn't. And that triggers me to go, huh? Yeah, I did. Let's start over. Yeah. Didn't realize that. So sorry, Erin, but
it's okay.
Good news is you're excited about it once I explained it to you, right?
Yes.
And so I think we're excited too. So be on the lookout for that.
Say don't talk about it too much.
I know.
I know. That's enough.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Just a little teaser for you. Yeah. Maybe next week.
No, I'll be gone. I'll be here one more week.
Maybe next week we'll talk about that. Until then, have a fabulous week. That's peace. Peace. All right, that's a wrap on another week of chaos, closings, and questionable decisions.
If this episode made you laugh, think, or text your real estate bestie like, girl, this is us, do us a favor.
Hit that subscribe button, leave a quick review, follow us on socials, or send us your own unhinged real estate stories. Seriously, we want to share them.
And hey, don't just survive this week. Get out there and build your business.
You've got everything it takes.
We'll be back next week with more chaos and more clarity.
Until then,
keep waking up to win.